Welcome to Two Guys, No Credentials,
where two completely unqualified people talk about nothing.
and everything.
Like we know what we're doing. Spoiler, we don't. I feel like there's something wrong here, but there's not.
What's wrong?
I don't know. I feel like there's like a glare or something weird with the lights. I think
On
I
my
put too
end?
much. No, on mine. I think I put too much beard oil in, and now we're getting a light bouncing off my beard situation.
I think that's what they mean by shine and bounce.
I don't know. I've never heard that.
No, for like hair products, you get a nice shine and bounce.
Jesus. You know, that's so funny because you're the only person who knows that. Well, you're the only guy that knows that.
Maybe.
Well, let's hear about your lights, man, since we're talking about light.
All right, this is a thing I hate. Overall, when you do research on something, maybe perhaps making a home improvement, everything looks right, everything should be correct, and then it doesn't work. I hate when it doesn't work. It is infuriating to me because I've done all the legwork to see. Now, if I just went out to the store and I happen to see them and I grabbed these lights and then I put them in and they don't work, I'm like, well, that makes sense. I didn't really look into this much. I looked into this a lot.
That makes sense.
So I'm trying to install smart bulbs in all of my lights in the basement. What I ideally would like to do is be able to set like a quick set lighting for if we're watching a movie. We can dim the shit out of that for holidays or mood or whatever. Like you can do all sorts of stuff, particularly when we're watching like football games. The touchdown happens. I can get the whole thing to go. It's part of the experience. And I worked really hard at this.
Yeah, you did.
I install every single one of these lights until I get to just the last one. And I put that one in, and now all of them flicker. And I don't know why.
Maybe that's the setting.
Yeah, that's the setting.
Yeah.
The setting is epilepsy.
Yeah, you didn't read the fine print on the box. Will cause epilepsy, guaranteed.
Yeah,
or
guaranteed epilepsy. If exactly seven of them are inset. That shit drives me nuts because it's like that with everything, right? Like you ever go to show someone, oh my god, you got to see this clip. You go to show someone, then it won't pull up, like your app won't open, or you're like, oh man, let's grill tonight or whatever, and the gas is out, doesn't work. Now that might be your fault, but it doesn't work, and it needs to work right now. This used to happen all the time with the band. We would get somewhere, there'd be some stupid problem with the speaker, it doesn't work now. Well, guess we're screwed.
Yeah, you can ask Paige about this. When technology doesn't work, I get so unbelievably frustrated. I get so worked up because it's like, this is technology. It should be easy. It should work fine. And I'm doing all the things and the steps and whatever I'm supposed to be doing, and it's still not working. And like, it makes me want to beat up a robot, but there are none yet. But when there are, watch out, because I'm going to fuck you up, robots.
You're going to be like Will Smith.
Yeah, exactly.
In iRobot.
Going to be slapping all the Chris Rock robots.
Anyways, that's been a frustration I've
had. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say that this is a frustration I've had since literally last night, and I woke up still pissed off this morning.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I don't know what I'm going to do about this now.
Oh,
I can't have just the one light because then it'll look incredibly stupid. But I also I bought all these and I'd like to use them.
Start using instead of putting the 7th where the 7th is, put the 7 where the 4 is. The 4 is the 5 and the 5 is the 7. Try that.
I did actually. It starts happening. So I swap one out. Like maybe that light's just bad. It worked for 4 minutes and then it just started flickering again. I don't know why. So there's something with the wiring that is not allowing this to happen.
I'm sorry to hear all of this. That's terrible. Yeah.
This is terrible.
All right.
I feel like this is what this is like what the Pilgrims went through.
Exactly. Their lights flickered too because they were candles.
Yeah. And it's just like hard. It's hard to live this way like it was for the pilgrims.
Yeah. Yeah. The pilgrims had it tough. I don't know. It sounds like you might have it tougher though, you know?
In many ways.
You got a big pantry. You're gonna have to decide what you want to eat instead of, eating anything you can find.
Yeah. And then I look in the fridge and like there's still nothing to eat. And it's way worse because it's full of things, but I'm like, there's nothing in here.
Yeah,
And it's worse that way
we
because
have
if
it
I was
worse.
just hungrier, if I didn't eat enough and I was just hungrier, I would eat anything.
If only a friendly Native American would come over and tell you what to eat.
Yeah. And then we could kill her.
That's not how
Isn't that what
works.
happened? Isn't that what happened?
No,
It is
no.
according to oh man, I forgot the celebrity we referenced last time.
Jonah Hill?
No, someone who said something about stolen land.
Oh, Billie Eilish?
Yes.
Yeah.
Famous philosopher Billie Eilish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, I hate Billie Eilish too. But I've got something more important to talk about. This is my things I hate and my regret all wrapped in one. So it's pretty exciting.
It's a bundle.
Last night, we, me and the in-laws and Paige, we all went to eat for my brother-in-law's birthday. And he wants to go to Korean barbecue. Now, I've never had Korean barbecue, and I'm
Yeah.
sure it's good elsewhere, but we went to a restaurant called Hungry Pot. Let me tell you, I have never been so annoyed at a dining experience before in my life. So, Hungry Pot is you can choose from you have 3 choices: Korean barbecue, seafood boil, or hot pot. Korean barbecue, it's a bunch of meats, vegetables, you cook it yourself. The seafood boil, you know what that is. Hot pot is soup that you make yourself at the table. So we all chose Korean barbecue because that's what Andrew wanted. It cost $33 per person, and you have to cook your own meat and seafood at the table. So I paid $33 to cook last night. That's dumb already. Are you following me? You there? Oh, I can't hear you, man.
There?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Weird. Yes, I've had Korean barbecue before, and I cannot wait to find out more about your experience.
Okay.
Because I know it is something that you would hate.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I heard, I was like, Korean barbecue? I've never had it. All right. Like, I'm not excited about this. Why do we always have to go someplace different instead of like a restaurant we know is good? But all right, sure. Um, so there's 5 of us. We sit down at the place, or we sit down at the table, and they give us one menu and one drink menu for all of us. And the menus, it's like a map from the 80s where you have to fold it out a bunch of times and you can't put it back together. I don't know. Do you remember those?
Yes, they're for whatever reason, Korean barbecue places, their menu is basically all of War and Peace. On each page is a different menu item.
Yes, exactly. Um, the menu contains like 107 different meats, 300 vegetables, but no sides, no sauces. I'm really confused. Um, but then guess what happens? He br- he brings over a tablet to order our food rather than taking our order.
What?
So, yes. So he brought us a tablet to do that. Why don't you just leave the tablets at the table or have a dumb QR code like every other place? Oh my
Or
God.
I don't know, write it down.
Yeah, it's just really
Because
it's
it's not like they're
really
cooking it. It's not like they have to know special things about each one. Oh, no mushrooms on this, please. It's not that. It's
right.
just bring out the beef.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God. All right. So then this guy also doesn't say, "Hey, have you been here before?" Because we haven't. So nothing's explained to us. We're very confused. But you know what? They've got TVs everywhere explaining how to do Korean barbecue and hot pot.
Oh
So
my God.
you have to watch the television to tell you what to do.
This is the most ridiculous thing.
It's so stupid. Um, so none of us understood how the restaurant worked. Um, and anytime we asked the server a question, the only answer he said was, "I don't know." Like, I'm not even sure he spoke English, and this is the only phrase he knows. "I don't know." And
Sounds like it.
he doesn't even know what it means. "I don't know." And it's like a Spanish guy, so, like, I'm not even making fun of Asians here, guys. All right?
Good
So
God.
the best part was, "I don't know," never followed up with, "Oh, let me find out. Let me go ask a question." There's no Hungry Pot employee handbook at all. They just bring people off the street, hand them a T-shirt that says Hungry Pot and says, "Get to work." This is stupid. Oh my God.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's so funny because the television's teaching me how to use the grill. The entire restaurant chain has outsourced the restaurant experience to the customer. So we're learning while we're there from a TV. We're using a tablet to order, and we're cooking our own food. What? What? Come on, guys. Come on. Is this what America's come to? Ugh, I can't take it. All right. So then everything just kept on escalating, like my annoyance and like my disgust with the restaurant. Like it's not dirty and the food's not like gross. It's all undercooked when it comes to you.
Well, yeah.
But they're bringing the food to you on this big plastic cart on wheels. But that cart is also the cart that they're using to bust the dirty, gross tables, which to me is like,
Disgusting.
this is disgusting. What are you doing? Like, nothing makes raw shrimp more appetizing than watching it arrive on the restaurant equivalent of a hospital laundry cart. Like, it's like the grossest fucking thing. Like, I just watched you use this cart to bust that like table of nine's food. Like, could I don't know, you bring it on a tray like other restaurants? Oh my God. I It was just like the worst experience. It keeps getting worse. So you order the food, it comes, you like you have to cook it. They also have like a sauce slash buffet type of bar over at the side, right? So I was like, okay, let me go check this out because maybe this will be a good experience for me. No, 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 no. It wasn't. Wasn't. All right. So I went over to the bar and I ordered white rice. So I grabbed some soy sauce. I grabbed a spring roll, some French fries, and some snow crab legs. All right. My food comes out. We cook it. I start eating the shrimp. Terrible. It's garlic
Awful.
shrimp. It's the easiest thing. Garlic shrimp. Disgusting. It's Like, that shrimp was frozen for a very, very long time because, like, it was rubbery, but also disintegrated the moment I bit into it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Oh,
It's actually a telltale sign of frozen.
it was disgusting. The soy sauce, tasteless. How how is it possible that the soy sauce is tasteless? Oh, I don't
I don't
understand.
know. It's
I
like
don't know.
literally salty on purpose.
Right. Like, that's what it is. It's salt in liquid form.
Mhm.
Spring rolls, tasteless. The crab legs, tasteless. Like, not even like that sweet crab taste. Like, like sometimes when you do, like, you steam some crab legs, you do some butter and some other seasonings just to help out. Nothing. It tasted like nothing. It was the strangest thing. Because crab is just naturally sweet, even snow crab legs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, tasteless. The French fries, amazing. The French fries were so good. They were my favorite French fries. They were like those mashed potato French fries that we talked about. You know what I
So
mean?
you go to Korean barbecue to get French fries.
Yeah, they were good. French fries. It was French Korean barbecue.
Got it.
The rice, the white rice, was blander than rice should be.
That's high
Uh,
praise.
yeah, so I'm putting tasteless soy sauce on really, really, really super bland white rice for a delicious mix of bland. You know how committed this
Oh my
restaurant has
god.
to be to remove the flavor from the soy sauce and the rice? Oh
Dude,
my
I
god.
I hate Korean barbecue for all of these reasons. I've done
Really?
it once and I made a commitment that I will never do this again.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's
Oh, I lost you again. You keep cutting out.
I don't understand why it's supposed to be fun.
I don't either, but I'm looking around and everybody's having a great time.
They're not.
Everybody. No, they are. They were having a wonderful time. They were so happy to be cooking their own food. Yeah.
I don't get it
Oh
at
my.
all.
Yeah, I don't get it. So, let's see. Anything else? Oh, yeah, that's right. All the employees, all of them, they're all wearing t-shirts. Why are you wearing t-shirts? Even McDonald's gives you a polo shirt. Like like everybody like that worked there looked like they got called into work unexpectedly while helping like people move. I just don't get it. Yeah, put on a polo shirt for Christ's sakes. Okay. All right. So we had some technical difficulties, but we're back. Here we are. Um
I want to tell
oh,
you what I hate about Korean barbecue.
oh yeah, tell me. I want to hear it.
I, because I love this topic. We went to barbecue, it was a Korean barbecue one time, and I will never go again because for most of the same reasons, this place is in New York City, so it's already a small place. You already know you're not going to get like, people dressed nicely to come wait your table. But like everything on the menu was in Korean, and I get it, right? Authenticity, but I don't know what I'm ordering. So I go to the menu and I point to the beer. I'm like, I just want a beer. And they go, okay. She goes and she gets a bottle. She comes back out, just cranks it open, and then shows it to me. And it's a bottle this big, and it's an entire bottle of sake.
Yeah. Yes.
The annoying part was I couldn't even be like, oh, no, 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 not that. I'd like something else. It was already open. It's mine now.
Yeah.
And so there was that. Also, we had like maybe 10 people at the table, and all of it, like, there was definitely not enough food for everyone. And so,
Really?
like, yeah, it was annoying. And it wasn't even like traditional Korean barbecue. The lady cooked all of it for us. I'm like, well, you didn't know that's how I wanted that done.
Well, I'd rather somebody cook it for me.
I mean, I would rather just go to a restaurant where a chef does it and brings it out when it's ready.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I prefer someone to cook it for me. But like, if I'm going to Korean barbecue, at least let it be Korean barbecue.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Oh man.
So I'll never go again. I'll never go back to one.
Yeah, I'll never do it. But let's talk about this because we got to talk about it. So like I said, they've somehow figured out how to take all the middlemen out of the dining experience. You're ordering it yourself, you're cooking it yourself, you're learning how to cook it yourself. Um, and then if you want extra, you go to the bar and get it yourself. The server didn't explain the restaurant. He didn't take our order. He didn't deliver the food. He didn't cook the meal. He never once asked if I wanted another drink. Do I have to tip?
Absolutely not.
And so for me, I think all of us agree Korean barbecue or any place where you're cooking your food and you're ordering it yourself, that's the same thing as if you walked up into a bakery and said, "Could I have a donut, please?" And they reach into the thing and just hand you a donut. I'm not tipping for anything.
I agree. You don't need a tip for the donut, but that's more work than that they did at Honey Pot.
Yeah, you're right.
That's way more work.
Yeah. If anybody deserved a tip, it was the Samsung TV on the wall teaching me how to cook.
Yeah,
Oh my
they should
God.
have paid you. Technically you're an employee at Hungry Pot.
Yeah, basically, where's my T-shirt?
Put that on your resume.
I definitely will. Jesus. Oh man.
It's
So
crazy.
that's
It's like when you're asked to tip at a buffet.
yeah. Who you tipping?
The only thing I can think of, right, is that the waiter or waitress, they like come over to your table constantly, clearing your plate. You can go get a new plate, right? They're constantly changing out your drink. You want another one. Like if they're attentive, I would tip for that. But ugh,
Yeah. Oh my God. No more Korean barbecue for me. No
done.
more going to restaurants where I gotta cook. If I want to see the food being cooked, I'll go to a hibachi. That's fun.
Hibachi's fun, and they do tricks. They
Yeah,
deserve the tip.
they put on a show for you. They make everybody laugh. Sometimes they're a little bit inappropriate,
Love it.
especially when they're like spraying the sake in people's mouths. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was there once. There was this like 8-year-old kid, and he got the sake, and this dude was a pro. There was no spillage. This little guy, this legend, was just like gulping sake, and eventually they were like, he just like stopped because like we're gonna get this kid drunk.
Yes. So I went with my cousins to hibachi, and Ella, who's fucking awesome, by the way. Um, she's 13. She's sitting next to me, and he's like going by through everybody, and he's like, "You want sake?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's just going and going and going, and he looks at her. "You 21? Okay." And just starts spraying in her mouth, and you can see like the like awkwardness in her face, just being like, "What do I do? What do I do?" And we're all like, "Okay, stop, stop, stop." Yeah, it was so funny. Uh,
Legend.
those guys. Wow. All right. I think we should move on. What do you think?
I I'm trying to think if I have anything else on this. I don't think that I do. I don't understand why people have so much fun there. Is it just that you, oh my God, you can cook it yourself and it's like an experience? Is it just that?
I think the people who really like going there, they're the ones who suck at cooking.
Maybe.
So they don't know how to cook, how much prep goes into it, how awesome it is, and how food should taste. That's what I think.
Could be right.
It was
Let us know in the
awful.
comments. You like Korean barbecue? If so, why?
Yeah, why do you like it? Ugh. All right. Well, speaking of systems where nobody appears to know what his job is, let's explain the federal government. You ready?
I don't know, but we're going.
You don't know.
I know.
All right. So we're starting with something incredibly exciting, a 7th grade civics lesson. Are you ready for this?
Hit me.
All right. So recently, well, the most recent Democrat to say we should abolish the Electoral College was your favorite politician, Pete Buttigieg. Right.
Okay.
So originally, I was going to write this whole thing for the episode where we were just going to argue about the Democrats because I think they're the biggest threat to the United States. But I didn't do that. I figured what would be more productive was to explain the Electoral College and the three branches of government for our listeners. And we can argue back and forth whether we think things are a good idea or not. But I thought I think that's more productive because
I think that's more productive.
Yeah, because people are like, yeah, the Electoral College is stupid. Like, why should like a person in Montana, his vote be worth more than mine in California, whatever, right? All right, so this is gonna be kind of difficult, but the founders didn't create a government where winning 51% of the votes gives you complete control. They divided that power deliberately, making governing difficult. Governing is supposed to be like a slog. It's supposed to be slow. Change is supposed to be slow. It's not supposed to happen overnight. And no majority or small minority is supposed to have complete control of the government. Does that make sense? That was their
That's the intent.
Yeah, that was their intent, right? So the Constitution divides federal authority among three separate branches: the legislative, the executive, and the judicial. The branches are independent, but each has powers that can check the other branch. Okay,
Yeah.
and the founders felt that government became dangerous when people writing, enforcing, and interpreting the law all answer to the same authority. That's why they split this all up.
Yeah, because that's more in line with like a oligarchy / dictatorship type of
Right.
government system, which is exactly what they're trying to get away from.
Yeah, exactly. So Congress consists of, this is the legislative branch, by the way. Congress consists of the House of Representatives and the Senate. Congress writes federal laws. They control taxation and spending. They conduct oversight and can declare war. The House can impeach federal officials, which includes the president. The Senate conducts impeachment trials. The Senate confirms judges, major executive appointments. The Senate ratifies treaties. The House is based on population. And each state receives 2 senators regardless of population. So Congress is just supposed to basically make laws, right? They have that's it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, this is a little boring, but I think this is important because I don't know. I do. Now, because we can also look at this and be like, all right, is Congress actually doing this? Sort of. But also,
I would say largely no.
right, exact. Like what's going on today? It's just a hot mess. And I think it's really sad because I think for me, in my point of view, and I don't know if you agree with this, maybe not. I think Democrats, oh boy, excuse me. I think Democrats are a huge threat to this whole setup. I think Democrats want to destroy the foundations that this country were built on. I think Republicans, I think they abuse the Constitution, the loopholes, and the framework. So to me, they're both dangerous. I think going forward, I think they're all corrupt. I think they're all greedy. I don't think any of them believes in any principles or values. I think all they care about is power and getting reelected. But I think Democrats are a little more dangerous because they want to destroy this framework. Because at least the Republicans, yeah, they want to abuse it, but they're somewhat in check because they're constrained by the constitutional framework, and they can get around it sometimes and everything else. But if we destroy that framework, we destroy the United States as we know it, or how it should be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting take because my viewpoint is the exact opposite. I think that both of them are dangerous in ways. I think that both of them are problems, but I think there's only one party that has actively tried to deconstruct the Constitution, and that's the Republican Party this year by supporting the man in the Oval Office.
All right, fair enough. Well, can I stop you there and come back a little bit?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, because we're going to talk about the executive branch. The president executes federal law, right? So they're enforcing and executing the law that Congress puts in place. The president commands the armed forces. The president conducts foreign policy. The president nominates judges and executive officials. The president negotiates treaties, which Congress, what is it? Ratifies treaties? Is that the word?
The Senate ratifies treaties.
Yeah. So he'll negotiate. Congress finishes it up. The president vetoes legislation, grants pardons, and independently selects executive, prevents laws enforcement from being completely controlled by Congress. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So if Congress writes laws and directly controls the person enforcing them, legislation and executive power begins collapsing into the same hands. So I didn't get there yet, but go back to your point.
Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting in the viewpoint. I don't think that Democrats are more dangerous than Republicans. I don't think that any Democrat wants to destroy our government. I think that they see that our government is flawed in a lot of ways, and instead of letting those flaws continue to hinder us in the future, we want to fix those problems. It's not like it's not like talking about the Electoral College and whether or not it's like useful or not is new. That's not a new topic. It's been discussed pretty much forever. And so I don't know that it's necessarily dangerous to question it or try to fix things. That's what Democrats have largely tried to do. That's why they get labeled progressive. And I don't mind that term because if you're trying to ask questions and challenge the way that things are in an effort to make them better, I like that more than what the Republican Party has become, which is just a bunch of pawns that will not and will not even openly say that Joe Biden won the 2020 election. Like all of those people we can't trust.
That's not true. There's a ton of Republicans that say Joe Biden won.
Yeah, and those ones are on the outs right now, and we like those people, right? That's why I don't like generalizing this entirely anyway, because I'm sure there are some Democrats that want to completely obliterate everything that we do. I'm sure there's Republicans that do the same thing, but it just seems like for a, it just seems like if you're, I don't know how to articulate this, I guess, in the best way. I have a really hard time with a party that largely still supports the president, even if it's just a show while he's president.
Okay, understood. I think you have a good point. I think also, I think when you're part of a party, you have to work with everybody in that party to try and get things done. Do I think they should be supporting him? No. I don't. Do I think maybe they have to in a way? Just like you had Democrats overwhelmingly supporting Joe Biden, even though he was dead. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So I think you said something about them supporting and trying to dismantle the Constitution, or supporting the president that was doing it. And I was just wondering how and what you what you think. How is that happening?
How has the Constitution been like defiled? How in ways that he
Yeah,
hasn't he
yeah,
hasn't followed the Constitution? Yeah,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
several. There's several. Early on in this term, Doge was still a thing. So as he was like terminating government contracts and then giving them directly to SpaceX, a lot of the attorneys that were working with those government agencies or other private entities that were contracted out by the government, um, those those attorneys, he wasn't allowing to represent those people and those companies because they're attorneys he didn't like. And it is one of our constitutional amendments that you have a right to an attorney, not not just an attorney, any attorney.
Oh.
And that's one problem. And it
So
wasn't
what?
talked about very much, but
No, actually, I've never heard of this. But what came of it? What happened? Because it sounds like what you're describing is a violation of constitutional rights, but nobody, not one person did anything about, like, no federal judge anywhere did anything, no court.
no, they never do. That's what the most infuriating thing is. Um, the everything with ICE and mass deportations. Not a single one of those people went to immigration court. And people who were U.S. citizens, documented U.S. citizens, did get sent to El Salvador with no immigration court, with no chance to appear. And that is a breach of our Constitution as well. Abrego Garcia is one of the people. He was sent to El Salvador for 40 something days as a documented U.S. citizen that was deported.
No, Abrego Garcia wasn't a citizen.
He absolutely was.
No, he wasn't. The guy from Maryland.
I believe he was from Maryland.
Yeah, he wasn't a citizen. He was not a citizen.
Okay.
No, let's look it up. How do you feel about that?
We can look it up. I'm happy to be wrong about these things. I don't believe that I am.
Let's see. In fairness, since I'm looking it up, what would you like me to type into ChatGPT?
Was Abrego Garcia, in the U.S. legally?
Okay, that's all right. That's better. I can't spell legally. No, this is important because, like, I could be wrong, right? Because, like,
Yeah.
everything is like guesswork now when you're like reading the news.
Honestly, and that's another like majorly infuriating side of all of this is like I don't really watch any of the mainstream news networks, as I think they're all horrible. Fox is definitely the worst, but like it's not very far. It's not like a high bar to clear for CNN and then MSNBC, and they just barely clear that bar.
That's so funny because I think MSNBC is the worst, but I think Fox and CNN are trash.
Yeah. Regardless of where we rank them, they're all not to be noticed. Like,
yeah, don't pay attention to them.
Yeah.
I haven't watched news on TV in so long; it's ridiculous.
All right, it's kind of been years for me.
I got an answer for us.
Okay.
All right, not exactly. Kilmar Abrego Garcia entered the United States illegally in 2012 and never obtained lawful immigration status, such as a visa, green card, or asylum. However, in 2019, an immigration judge granted him withholding of removal, meaning he could remain in the United States under government supervision. He could receive work authorization. The government could potentially deport him to another eligible country. The government could not legally deport him to El Salvador because the judge found he faced a serious risk of persecution there. So he didn't have legal immigration status, but he was legally protected from removal to El Salvador. So I mean,
So we're both a little right and both a little wrong on this one, I guess. But like,
yeah. So he wasn't supposed. Now, I have no idea what they did to get him to El Salvador, because he still there, or did they move him elsewhere? No, they brought him back.
I think they brought him back.
They brought him back, and I think they deported him to somewhere else.
Maybe
he's probably in like Liberia or something.
But regardless of where he is now, I don't. But and this is another problem I think that I have is the right usually labels all Democrats as like hating deportation. We don't. We support deportation as long as it's followed by the legal process, by everyone's right to due process. If he had gotten his due process in the first place, he wouldn't have been deported to El Salvador. And if he needed to be deported, would have been deported to the right place. That's my problem.
I think he did get his due process. I think they just violated a judge's ruling.
He did not. He did not appear in court before his first deportation.
If you're an illegal immigrant and they find you and they're like, you're not supposed to be here, that's the due process.
It's not. There's immigration court. It's not, because how does ICE know that walking down the street, you're driving down the street, how do they pull you over and know, oh, you're not supposed to be here?
I'm not exactly sure, but they right, know.
So then they don't. The ICE, they don't know that.
That's not how due process works. Due process, all due process means is the whatever it takes to figure out what's going on with you, right? That's the process in which you get to a place. And the process is, we determine you're not legally here, we deport you. That's it. That's due process.
But where do they determine that?
At a detention center.
How? That person has no ability to provide documents if they have them. They're in a cell.
How many American citizens have been deported?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. Ever, or just this year?
Just this year.
I don't know, but it's way less than Obama's.
No, U.S. citizens.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I don't know that number off the top of my head either. I didn't know we were going to come down the immigration.
Yeah, we're going on a tangent. Let's leave it here. Let's just move on, because we'll be here all day. What do you? But I agree with you.
Where we were going here, I'll root it back. Where we were going here is my comment about how we see things a little bit differently. From which side is really trying to destroy the electoral process and which it isn't. I view right now Republicans and mainly like staunch MAGA supporters, which I like to be clear are different. MAGA is different than Republicans.
All right, I see where you're going. I think I think though you are describing what I'm describing.
I think so too.
I think Republicans abuse the system, but more and more, I feel like the Democratic Party is being influenced by a very small, extreme minority in the party. Like, they're almost held hostage, especially the leadership in the Democratic Party, by the small minority, because they're worried about the younger votes. So they go along with let's abolish the Electoral College. Let's pack the Supreme Court. Let's get rid of the filibuster. But let's move on to the judicial branch real quick. All right. Federal courts interpret federal law and the Constitution. The judiciary resolves disputes. Courts review whether laws and government actions are constitutional. Federal judges generally serve during good behavior and do not need to satisfy elected politicians to keep their positions. So basically they have these lifelong appointments so that they don't have to answer to anybody. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. That's what it is. It doesn't make sense in practice at all.
Oh, really?
Life, one of my biggest problems with the things right now is the lifelong status,
Why?
because there is a certain age where you should go.
All right. Well, I think we could both agree. I think we can agree there. Absolutely. But how do you determine that? Like, do you reach a certain age and you start, I don't know, giving them mental acuity tests?
I'm not really sure like the best way to go about that, but there does come a point where number one, you're completely out of touch with reality. Like that's been the problem with the last three, well, two presidents. They're completely out of touch with reality. Um, like you know what it should be? It should be to figure out what those term limits should be, what the age limit should be. You should have to take a photo, upload it to Instagram, and share it twice. If you could do that, you can remain on a seat.
That's so funny. So, weeks ago, my mom called me and she's like, Eric, I can't share this picture on Instagram. So I had to walk her through it. It was so funny. Oh my
Yep,
God.
can't be a judge.
All right. Can't be a judge. Mom, you heard it here. You cannot be appointed to the Supreme Court. Sorry.
It can't happen.
Yeah.
Can't happen that way.
All right. So, um, let's go to checks and balances, right?
Yes, let's.
Uh, every branch was given tools to restrain the other branches. It's not designed for efficiency. It's designed to prevent concentrated power in one branch.
Mhm.
So, Congress checks the president through funding, oversight, investigations, confirmations, impeachment, and veto overrides. The president checks Congress through the veto. The judiciary reviews laws and executive actions for constitutionality. The president nominates federal judges. The Senate confirms those judges. Congress controls the structure and funding of the lower federal courts. Judges can be impeached and removed. The Constitution can be amended to overturn a judicial interpretation. Um, so, when does prevented concentrated power become preventing the government from functioning? And I think that's what we're dealing with now is
Mhm.
things are so messed up. We want change overnight.
Mhm.
And I think that's where this is all coming from. You got the Republicans abusing um, the framework and the government structure to try and get as much as they can done. And Democrats are saying, all right, this system isn't working. Nobody can afford a house. Nobody can afford their groceries. Americans are suffering. We need to change the entire system. And I mean, I disagree with them, but I don't disagree with them.
Yeah,
Does-
and so this part of this I actually love, because I get it. With I do think the future looks a lot brighter, right? We won't have a Donald Trump in the seat presidency again. Like he won't be him. I think right now the goal is like, all right, let's just make sure this maniac can do as little as possible, and then try to figure out a way that if we have another maniac, that we can still do right by American people. But the way that you do that is changing the way the system has worked for a very long time, and the system of checks and balances does work. We saw that from after the 2020 election.
right. Well,
Like this does work.
we've seen it a number of times with Trump in this term too, where
Correct.
uh, federal courts and the Supreme Court have shut him down. So they are working, but
Yeah.
if you destroy that system, right? Let's say I'm the best. Eric Rogers is oh shit, I'm gonna have to bleep that out. Um, Eric is the have I said my last name on here before?
You definitely have in reference to a story with you in the military.
Whatever. Okay. Eric Rogers has become the all-time supreme ruler of the United States. He's the best. He's got everybody's thoughts, like everybody's good thoughts in mind, and wants to take care of everybody and be virtuous, uh, righteous, and just completely awesome.
Your Grace.
I die of a heart attack,
Mhm.
and the opposition somehow takes over, and everybody's screwed after that. That's the problem with changing anything, because eventually the other side's going to get in control.
Yeah.
So that's why I think the Democrats are dangerous.
But does it have to? In your mind, does it have to be that extreme? Can't, like, we need to do something about the system? Can't that mean there should be some provisions in place, or there should be something that we can do when this person's being investigated for impeachment, let's say, so that we can at that point do something? Like it doesn't, to me, it doesn't always have to be, oh, we have to completely have all power over here with Congress. It can just mean we've never experienced this problem before. I don't think we've ever had this problem before, where we have this kind of person sitting in the highest office in the world, just wreaking havoc on his own American people financially.
I don't know. Maybe not to that extent, but I would argue that Joe Biden was almost the same. And the checks and
Economically?
Economically? No, I'm talking about abusing and trying to sidestep the Constitution. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, maybe.
The OSHA mandate with the vaccines, the student loan forgiveness that he tried to do, that he wasn't allowed to do, and then he was like, "Oh, we're going to do it anyway, even though the Supreme Court said we can't." So I
Yeah,
would
but
argue,
but the difference is that, for me at least, both of the bull I can understand the argument around the vaccine mandate. I don't agree. I can understand it.
no,
The
how?
I don't understand it because things that are generally good for people's health are probably a good idea. And then your health is going to impact other people that are making a different choice than you. So I don't know if I think that their execution and rollout of it was absolutely terrible. I think that putting Dr. Fauci up there was like the least trustworthy person on planet Earth. Horrible to make like the face of this whole thing. There was zero attempt to like educate people on why what they were talking about was going to be beneficial. Zero effort put into your little vaccine card. Anyone could have just made that up. There was like nothing. There was nothing to like show people why this was going to be effective, or what the reasoning was, why we're trying to make this decision.
Well,
And honestly, that goes for most things. There's never explanation as to why.
but
They make
my
any
thing
decision.
my thing is if you can explain why something's so good for them, why do you have to make it mandatory? And why do
Well,
you have to use a government law that's not designed to do that to make it mandatory?
so that's actually my point. Like you would not have probably had, you probably would have gotten just as many vaccinators, as many people vaccinated, having explained why it was beneficial as you did making it a mandate.
Yeah, except I don't know. My thing is what he was doing was he was trying to violate the Constitution, and you're saying I can understand that. But what I'm telling you is it's the same thing as Donald Trump.
No.
Yeah, it is. If you're
I don't think so.
if you're violating the Constitution, you're violating the Constitution. It doesn't matter what your intentions are or what side agrees with it. It's wrong.
Which is why I say I can understand it and I disagree. I
could
do think intent matters.
I cannot. No, intent doesn't matter when you're doing something wrong.
So this was actually going to be my point for student loan forgiveness. People do not understand what a massive problem this is economically.
Mhm.
People will not listen to me about this. So if there's nothing else you take away from any of our podcasts, please hear me that this will cripple our economy in like the next decade if something's
But
not done about it. And
but
so that I don't
we're
mind a little bit of sidestepping to get that done because
no, no,
that is an
no.
important
You
issue.
can no, no, Jeff. The Constitution is there for a reason. If you do not have the power to do something, the other branches have to do it. You can't do it yourself. This is the
But
whole
they
thing we're
won't.
talking about. This it doesn't matter if they won't. This is the whole thing we're talking about though, because once you allow that, they can sidestep more and more and more and more until they overwhelm the other two branches of government, and you've got a minority or a small majority control over the rest of the country.
Sure, but none of that matters if our economy is crippled anyway. You know what I mean? Like I believe me, I hear you. I do. I really do. But I think there's a big difference between not allowing a government contractor to use an attorney that they want, which has no effect on the American people, really. It's just you're just defying the Constitution to defy it for your personal gain. That's a big difference than saying what's really better for the American people is we help them out financially. This is hugely different. And I'm not saying that it's right to do it. I'm saying that like who at what point does anybody give a shit about the people?
Well, none of them give a shit because if
Right,
listen,
so sidestep it then.
no, you can't. No, that's not. No, because then you have a despot who can do whatever he wants, and then you get another figure like Donald Trump after Joe Biden kicks the bucket, right? Who takes over and starts doing more and more stuff that you don't like.
that one that one got by me for a second. It just kind of slid in there. So like
I don't know.
I hear what you're saying. It is all wrong. It is all wrong. To me, there's a big difference between like personal gain in doing it and what is actually right for people.
I've got a huge.
I wish Congress would just listen and hear why it's going to be beneficial and not care that it's a Democratic president, then the Republicans are voting it down just because he's on the other team. I wish that wouldn't happen, but unfortunately it does. Now, if we keep everything the way that it is right now, we know Biden did that, we know Obama did that, we know Bush did that, we know Trump did that, and everything's still pretty okay. Like we have a disaster going on right now, but it'll fix itself. It always does because our system does work. And
Yes.
I don't think I don't think it necessarily follows that if you let someone sidestep a little bit here, then it's going to go away because it's been happening for decades. And I think our system works because like at some point the American people need to matter. And when it's stuff like the student loan forgiveness, that is doing something for the people that they need. And for anyone to vote that down is really annoying. And it's that's where what gets it gets me upset when like which is why they start naming bills like things that Americans will love. The big beautiful bill, no tax on tips. Like everyone's gonna love that, but that's not actually what it says, right? It gets voted down for that reason, for other reasons.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. All right, let's move on because we're just gonna argue even more and more. But this is fun. All right, let's get to the Electoral College. Um,
My favorite university.
yes. All right. Where am I here? Oh boy, what's going on here?
Well, here, let me start off with the Electoral College. We're going to explain like what voters are actually doing when they vote for president, what that actually means, what the Electoral College is, and what it's designed for. What I want to just kind of start off with is I know probably more than the average person about the Electoral College and how it works, but I don't really think I'm that well educated in this area. So I'm really looking forward to learning a little bit more here and helping shape maybe my opinion, because I'm not always sure that I agree with some of the Democrats that are saying we need to get rid of the Electoral College. I think that's a really dangerous concept, but I want to understand a little bit more about maybe hypothetically what could happen if we did change that system,
Right.
and what that might look like.
Well, I found my spot. I don't know what happened, but the Electoral College, it makes the presidential election a collection of state elections rather than one national popular vote. So, you've got the electors, right, in every state, and when you vote for president, you're actually voting for a group of electors in every state, and the number of electors in that state are based on the population, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you go into the booth and you vote for um, Kamala Harris. I always am like, am I saying her name right? Because I
Yeah, it's
always want to say
Kamala.
Kamala. Kamala,
Mm-hmm.
you go in, you vote for Kamala. You're not actually voting for her. You're voting for a slate of electors that are pledged to that candidate. So you're just voting for a group of people who have pledged their electoral vote to that candidate. So before the election, each presidential candidate has a potential group of electors in every state. The voters determine which candidate slate will represent their state. Those electors meet in December and formally vote for president and vice president. Congress counts the electoral votes in January. Each state receives a number of electors equal to its House members plus its 2 senators. And Washington, D.C. gets 3 electors, I think. I don't know. I can't remember. But there's a total of 538 electoral votes. A candidate normally needs 270 electoral votes to become president. Let's see. So 48 of the states plus Washington, D.C. are winner take all. So if Kamala or Trump get 51% of that state's vote, they get all of the electors. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The Constitution doesn't require states to use a winner take all system. So state law determines how electoral votes are distributed. Maine and Nebraska do not use the winner take all method. They use the method that I sort of agree with. They award one elector to the winner of each congressional district. Their electoral votes can therefore be divided between candidates. So they
Yeah,
kind of provide a choice that's a little bit better.
it's a little more representative of what's going on in the
Yes.
state.
Yeah, this
Right?
is what I think should be happening all over the country. And
This is what needs to, yeah,
go ahead.
this is what needs to happen in in the states that have the most populous cities in the country. This is what needs to happen in New York, California, Texas. Uh, Maybe that's it. Massachusetts, I guess it's a small state though. Um,
Florida.
Florida. I think because one of the things that have always intrigued me about the argument of maybe getting rid of the Electoral College is like New York is instantly red then.
What do you mean?
New York as a state is almost always blue. There might have been one time 50, 60 years ago where they voted red, but it's always blue. So if you live in rural New York and you vote for a Republican, your vote really doesn't even matter because you're getting drowned out by New York City. You're getting drowned out by Albany, by Buffalo, by, you know, like cities of people.
Yeah.
Now I understand the counter argument. There's more cities there. There's more tax dollars from those people in those cities. Therefore, that's kind of why that works for that. But I don't know that I agree with that. And it's funny because I'm a blue voter primarily. And so like I'm talking against myself here, but what would be right is a more representative feel over all of the counties in New York.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you want more representation when we're voting for anything. That was what's important. I think I do think people, when they're talking about, getting rid of the Electoral College, they're they're saying, oh well, this isn't fair that you know this states who have nobody in the state, like Alaska,
Rhode Island.
Yeah, exactly. Their vote, in a sense, counts more than somebody's vote in California or New York. I understand the argument. It's not true, because if we just went by popular vote, LA and New York would control the elections every 4 years.
Yeah.
And that's the purpose. The Electoral College was created to preserve an executive who was independent from Congress. So they didn't want Congress selecting the president, basically. So this is what they came up with. It was a compromise between